right, welcome to another episode of the Winter Moon Podcast. I'm David.
I'm Brian.
I'm John Bushfax Bushman.
And I'm Nathan Minor Tom.
And this is our last episode of the year. So happy holidays, everybody. And we hope you have a good one. And we're going to spend some time this episode talking about a variety of topics that we haven't really touched yet on the tactical side of things. We have some coverage of the new advantages that we're going to be talking about. We have some analysis of triple Saber as well that we're going to talk about with the 212th and the new abilities that grants the Republic faction. And then we're also going to talk about the Cassian mega fleet abomination that's tearing things up for the rebellion. We're gonna dive into that pretty soon here. But I think to start us off, I think Brian, you had something about the new Rebel advantage that you've been playing with, and I think out of all of us, Brian, you've had the most games since we last spoke. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on some of what you've been discovering out there on the tables.
Yeah. So Rebel Advantage obviously is perfectly suited for the Rebel Agent because the Rebel Agent can use the 2-pip that comes with the Rebel Agent that allows you as many pass tokens as the current round that you're in. So if you're in round 3, you get 3 pass tokens. If you're in round 1, you get 1 pass token. And the Rebel Advantage allows you to spend those pass tokens as a unit activates. And you can either recover with that unit, or you can gain both an aim and a dodge for that unit. And so it's really good if you're running a higher act list, which most Rebel lists are. Then a Rebel Agent's perfect there because then you can still get a lot of use out of this advantage. If you're running a lower act list for Rebels, which is less common, which is something that I've been doing because it's fun, and then you get to use it fairly often. I haven't seen a lower act list that also has Rebel Agent yet, because that would be gnarly with the amount of pass tokens that could be there. But it's great. It's really good for the Rebels. It forces your opponent in turn 0 to make some difficult decisions because now there's 2 advantages they kind of don't want you to have. They certainly don't want you to have advanced positions or advanced intel, right? That's the word. Yeah, advanced intel, because that's still the strongest advantage in my opinion. In turn 1 is still so vitally important to being able to go last there. So I would still say that that's stronger than the Rebel Advantage. But now your opponent has 2 very clear things that they don't want you to have in terms of advantages. And so it frees up your space to get what you want out of primaries and out of secondaries because your opponent's banning out more things from the advantages normally. And so I've really enjoyed it. I really like the recover action on Force users. I think you can get a lot of play out of someone like Commander Luke or Ahsoka these days, who I would recommend Ahsoka over Commander Luke because I think Ahsoka's a lot better than he is.
Ahsoka with the constant access to free recover
is, yes,
pretty dope.
Fantastic. And so very, very good with Ahsoka. I love it with my Luke. I love it for units that are going to get suppressed really bad. Like if I play with Luke and Bad Batch right now, and Bad Batch, if they're taking a lot of heat out on a wing and they've got 7 suppression, which is not super unusual because they usually defend pretty well, then I can just be like, well, I'll just spend a token and have them recover. Well, that's gone, and I get 2 actions with them now. And it's great. And so there's just a lot of cool uses for it, and I've really enjoyed having it in my deck. It's fantastic.
So I'll just jump in and say, it seems to me from reading the card again that the ideal situation here is that you have pass tokens, but you don't necessarily benefit from them. So it gives you a continued, benefit from having these pass tokens that you probably weren't going to use anyway. And especially true, I think your Jedis, if you're in a time sensitive, situation, and Ahsoka wants to go first, but she doesn't have her force powers up. You just spend your pass token to recover, effectively, because it's using some interesting language. It says while you have advantage tokens, that's just like a blanket term for like the things that are in your pass pool, right? So that kind of confused me. The initial reading was like, because it says advantage tokens on the card, those are just another name for the things you use to represent passes. And so they're not separate. They're together in one kind of category. And so, but yeah, so it's just and I mean this thing. Now that I think about it more, it has benefits. It essentially, well, I don't want to say all stages of the game, but like most stages of the game, like it's kind of on a lot of the time. Not necessarily the beginning of the game when you might be activating your opponent, but like,
well, in turn one, you don't really need the benefits of it.
Correct.
Right? You don't really often need the aims or dodges, and you certainly don't need to recover. So, I think it works out with the not using it turn one, but then using it when your passes have lost most of their value.
Right. I guess my thought is that it has more, I guess, instances, more, I guess, to borrow a term for video games, more procs. That's short for processing. So it procs more often is what I'm trying to say.
I never knew that's what it was short for.
Yeah.
I did not know that either.
Just realizing it, like that word is so ingrained in my environment. And then there it is. Okay. The more you know.
Okay, so I've got a follow-up question then. So Brian, you were saying that you think that advanced intel is still more powerful than
I think it can be. It can be.
it can.
I was going to say, I would.
Right. We're
Footnote
not Sith here. Let's not speak in absolutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said it can be more powerful. So if you have that advantage and you have Rebel Agent in your list, I sort of think of the Rebel Agent 2-pip. If you play it round one, it's sort of like advanced intel.
It is.
It's another comparable way to think about it is that it's like a 5-pip, right? You can automatically go at the end.
Yep.
And so if advanced intel is really good, and in your opinion, perhaps on par with, or in some situations better, how often are you, if you have the agent, how often are you just playing it round one anyway to use it as a sort of pseudo advanced intel, versus how often are you maybe going to save it till round 4 or round 5, when 2-pips are often generally kind of good later in the game anyway, but now you're also getting this buttload of tokens.
That's a fantastic question. That's a fantastic question because I use it when my opponent has either even or one fewer acts than I do. I use it round one because that allows me to have 2 free actions, or one to 2 free turns at the end of round one. And depending on my list as well, like, so my list right now that I've been playing, which is 9-act Rebels, I don't feel like I have to go last. If I'm playing land speeders, I really want to go last. And so it's really, really important if I'm coming up against like a 13-act, whatever list, and I have 13 acts with land speeders, then yeah, it's very likely I'm playing that 2-pip round one because I really want to go after you on round one.
Okay. And then on the converse, let's say you're on the lower side, you could be denying your opponent, right? So if you're still in the situation where you have the Rebel Agent, so on and so forth, but you're up against a Rebel player that has the double land speeders and higher acts than you, perhaps it still would be worth it in that situation to deny them, being able to double, guaranteed go double land speeders at the end of the round.
Right.
So I guess the overarching point that I'm taking away is that this is adaptable.
Yes.
Like you can change what you're doing with it on the fly, and it's got more like sort of a broader application than maybe we're used to seeing. Because like a lot of times we have these ideas of lists where it's like I have this thing I'm trying to do, and if I do this thing, then I've succeeded. But you've got like a more, I guess there's more like value in it than just the one thing that you could do. It's like you've got more applications than just the one, so that just makes it even more valuable because like it's no longer just useful within this gimmick. You've got like a whole like broad spectrum of applications.
Yeah, I will say that I do think that it is an advantage that is way more flexible with a rebel agent than without a rebel agent, and so I think probably. Yeah, I just think that the rebel agent kind of dials this advantage up a lot. Yeah.
Well, creates like a condition, right? Because it's sort of like I keep thinking of video game comparisons. It's sort of like if I don't take this upgrade, or if I don't take this, this unit, right, then this tactic is a lot weaker. But with the agent of battlefield reconnaissance, it's like, well, now it's like just in my pocket, ready to go, and I don't have to really think about it. I can it's just there with me in a tool I can use, rather than just like, I'm relying on the game to produce a situation where it might get me value. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Flexible advantage is good. Should we talk about the Empire one?
Yeah, that's Black Ops, right?
Yeah, because I think that's another one that is maybe more flexible than it lets on. It's not in the same way of what the Rebel one is, but I think there's a variety of types of units that are really good to infiltrate. I think you see something like this, and it's tempting to go, oh, this is great for like just infiltrating like some super aggressive close range, like it just says allied, right? It doesn't say it has to be an Empire unit.
Correct. It says allied core or special forces.
Okay, so you could do a Black Sun, for example, like, which is cool. Infiltrating Black Sun, awesome. But infiltrating units that have longer range, I think, is still a really valid reason.
See clone commandos.
Exactly, right. Clone commandos come to mind. That's terrifying, because whenever I play against clone commandos, I sort of like, you cannot hide from the round one shots, except unless you have something equally scary waiting for them that they can't avoid, right? Like, you're going to take it, which is terrible. And so you can do, Empire's got access to, and I think some of the custom commanders just give you so much more ways to generate aim tokens than the Empire is used to. I think, Death Troopers with aim access, infiltrating, like that's not fun.
That was the first unit that came to mind when I saw this card. I was like, wow, Death Troopers with the range 4 config are gonna slap.
Yeah.
Right, because if you've got an officer nearby that's, or anybody with exemplar, and you've got a tip of the spear agent, say, or we've got Thrawn in the wings, so he's got exemplar and tactical, right? So you just, as you're moving Thrawn onto the board, he gets aims, right? So then when you infiltrate your Death Trooper, you've already got tokens there, so you don't need anything else to happen, and then you can you can shoot from long range. It's impossible for your opponent to hide from you, and if your opponent has gotten a little overconfident, let's say, and they've gotten closer than they should, they can still move up and then shoot with a really nasty range 2 shot if they've got aims to back it. So, like, Death Troopers was one that came to mind. Again, obviously, I still think something like Black Sun is a good choice. Riot Troopers, particularly if you got like some ruthless tech. With Gideon, you drop riots. You triple move with Imperial March or something. Get super far around one. But another one that came to mind for me, I don't know about you all, is like Storm Super Squads. With a move and a range 3 shot, it's
6 or fewer miniatures.
Right.
Oh yeah, 6 or fewer minis. Yeah,
Sorry,
that's true.
Not the Super Squad, but like a T-21 with the specialist.
Yeah, that's 6 miniatures. Yeah.
Yeah, is that still? It's with the specialist aim, and if you have like scopes or something, it's about, at least that first shot, it's about the same as a Super Squad.
Right. So
you're getting your 4 extra dice from that extra aim on your initial shot, and then if you've got exemplar backing it up additionally, it's like,
right.
Yeah, that
specifically exemplar plus precise, right? Because I think one of the keywords, I think that in 2.6, and especially in the last few months, like in terms of keywords that have like sort of risen up in terms of their like the community's like embrace or understanding of the mechanics. I think precise is one of those keywords that's kind of like risen up lately. That people are like, they didn't really value it initially, or at least it wasn't like people kind of looked askance at targeting scopes. They're like, I'm not going to get enough aims to justify this. But like suddenly it's like, oh, maybe we should embrace, precise because, aim tech is more plentiful. And so now precise just synergizes better with the plentiful aims that exist. So I was even thinking, Nathan, in your examples of like Death Troopers, right? Let's not forget Death Troopers have precise 2 baked in. So it makes the exemplar synergy even more disgusting, right? Because it's like, especially if you can get the close range shot, now you're like re-rolling probably 8 white dice because they're using their range 2 pistols, and I think they have the red, the flip side of the config that gives them blast. I think you can do that as well because that's their grenade launcher. I think gives them blast. So, they've got lots of nasty stuff that they can do. Along with the precise 2 baked in, we see scopes being taken more often. I take scopes on my Mandalorians, for example. Not Mandalorians, but I think we have units with precise baked in. We'll take scopes on certain other units, like even Black Sun can take scopes because they know they're gonna have plentiful aim access. Like if you're doing an Unorthodox Tactician or a Vigo synergy there. But I guess just interesting to note the precise was like not as valuable as it used to be, and now it's like coming to the fore because we've got a lot of like aim synergy, aim sharing kind of tech that's coming into existence for some other factions. So it's people have taken notice. They're starting to incorporate it in their lists.
Yeah, and you can do a big because it says 6 or more miniatures, right? I was just trying to play around.
Or 6 or fewer.
6 or fewer. Okay, so I was playing like a Callus KXs. I was wondering if you can get a seven man Callus unit in there, but no, that wouldn't work.
Sadly, no.
Yeah,
but you can just do riots just with the KXs, which is neat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And Imperial March.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Blech.
Yeah, so infiltrate 2+3. You're in their face.
Infiltrate 14-inch move charge.
Yeah, so you're gonna be in their face quickly.
And
you probably won't get a charge that round, but still.
If you have Gideon in your list, you might, because he can ruthless them for a free move.
Yeah,
So it's like new ways to motivate them anytime. But if you have like tip of the agent that's always giving your core an order, or tip of the
ruthless
spear,
is turned on.
I mean, it's to the point where it's almost range 5. So like a savvy opponent most of the time will not let you get that. But
so with that you could dip 2 inches into most deployment zones,
right?
Like with your body, like your body is there.
Yeah,
right. So again, so in most situations, a savvy opponent is not going to let you charge even with the triple move, but it's going to be really obnoxious for them that they
the crazy part is
outside of that.
Like most of the times that you're getting tricks like that outside of ruthless, like it's a guidance thing and it's set up and your opponent has a turn to respond. But it's infiltrate, you're already on the board, ruthless, kill yourself and move forward, and then move forward 2 more times, both at speed 3, I think.
Only the second.
Okay, only the second, but still.
But yeah, still quite definitely something to.
Yeah. Right, but to John's point, like it's faster.
Yeah.
And you can't like intervene. It doesn't. I guess what they say in Magic interact necessarily. It doesn't. There's no chance for your opponent to interact with it.
Yeah.
They have to know that it could happen and account for it in advance.
Right. Yeah. Your opponent has to basically stay within range 1 of their table edge, and that's that's pretty much it. To basically stay within range 1 of their table edge, which is annoying.
Yeah, that's been a feature of like strong lists where it's like you basically you're challenging your opponent for territory immediately, like even before setup you're already challenging your opponent for territory.
Yeah.
And the last I was going to say, which one I think is maybe less obvious, but I still think is really good. I still think even short troopers really like this. because I think because you already have the prepared positions, so it's tempted to go, well, you don't really need it, but it's kind of the same principle as the Death Troopers, where the thing with the shores, they have this really big threat range that you have to respect. But with the prepared position, they're so slow that in order to be able to move on to objectives, you kind of have to put them on the board. You can't just wait to deploy them. But then your opponent knows where they are, so it gives them a lot of way to react. If you have a shore that's infiltrating, it still is going to be able to get far enough up the board to get where it needs to go, but it's just this bomb that's waiting over your opponent's head all of round one, and at the end, again, it's a similar deal with the commandos we were talking about earlier. You can't hide from shores if they infiltrate and then can move and then shoot you at range 4. Like, you just can't do anything about it. And so if you got a 6-man shore with I like the comms tech with an e-transponder, and so you do that. You get one from Exemplar, one from e-transponder, and then depending on where the board state is, maybe you're in a position even to take an aim. You got one for long shot, and you got 1 or 2 left over with 7 black, 2 white, critical 1. So you don't want to take that on turn 1 or on round 1. It's like, that's obnoxious to have to eat that. So I think Empire, like, honestly, and then we didn't even talk about Snow Troopers, but Snow Troopers with that steady, they're going to get you anywhere you go round 1 as well. So it's not as scary of a shot if you're not a vehicle, but basically anything Empire has, I feel like, except for Scout Troopers, basically don't really care. But like anything else, it's like happy to be a recipient of this advantage, I feel like.
Yeah, with the exception of like Scouts, because Scouts don't need it. But
right,
we knew that already.
Yeah, they don't need any help either.
They're fine.
40
Infiltrate is good. Who knew?
Yeah.
I know, right? And it was good in Legacy, but it's I feel like it's one of the best keywords there is in the current edition.
Yeah, but like the battle pack kind of, not the battle pack, but the change in battle cards with 2.6 kind of made it so.
Mm-hmm.
And the way the infiltrate used to work was like you had to pick a spot on the board outside range 3 of your opponent and respect this like range 3 bubble. Now there's no such limitation. You can just infiltrate in your opponent's face.
Well,
I mean, it has to be on your opponent, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're in your face, then yeah.
Right. If they're trying to move towards objectives in like any aggressive way, you have this ability to punish them.
Yeah.
That makes already strong units stronger. I think of Aquas. I think of Clone Commandos. Those are the 2 big ones. I think.
I think it's the only reason Aquas were such a menace.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Why
they needed that mobility spike?
Like well, I wouldn't say the only reason, but it's like it is a critical reason. Like if you took it away, they wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, they wouldn't be a problem at all.
For sure.
Even if you took it away and gave them speed 2, they wouldn't be a problem anymore.
Agreed.
The infiltrate is what caused them to be so strong.
Yep. Causes them to be so strong.
Yeah. This is present tense speak here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
all right.
They're a little more fairly costed now, but I'd say they're still above the curve as far as.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to disappear quickly. I think people are trying new stuff, but they're not going to go away.
Yeah, it's just the new shiny toys. It'll go back to the Aquas soon. If
it's been fun watching people try new stuff. It's been cool.
Yeah.
Well, I still think a lot of the other stuff is good. I mean, AATs are still killer, in my opinion. And now that they're 150, it's like that's hot.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying them.
Do we want to talk about the other 2 advantages, or do we want to save this for another day?
No, let's go. Let's go on. I don't think there's that much ground to cover with the other ones because they're not quite as impactful as the 2 that we started with. At least that's been my estimation, but we can talk about them for sure.
They're less dynamic.
Why don't we do the GAR one, coordinated strike?
So the GAR one is nice if your army is built, if your army's wanting orders, which commandos want orders, link targeting arrays want orders. If you're trying Nathan's crazy fire support stuff, they want orders.
Yeah.
And it basically gives you like it'll like turn a 1 pip into a 3 pip, it feels like, or turns a 3 pip almost into a luminous. And I'm playing it with my Saber tanks, and it just, off. What did I play it off of? I played it off of like a 2 pip, Cody's 2 pip. So I'm issuing to troopers, but then I still get all 3 orders on the tanks to trigger their link targeting arrays. So it's just, it's nice enough that I really like it over anything but advanced intel. But it's not quite as like game swinging as the other two can be.
Well, it creates order control where it didn't exist before, but it is a kind of a one shot because there's only one advantage token on the card. So like
yes,
for
and it
one,
is not a permanent keyword. They did finally clarify.
Right, they don't gain it for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
they just get it for the round. So
yeah,
but that's all you need it.
Which we all knew.
We kind of knew it was.
They just didn't. It was definitely ambiguous how they wrote it.
Yeah.
So it needed to be cleaned up, and it is. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what else to say about that.
It's more good. Orders, more better. I mean, that's kind of.
It makes it like I'm super happy with my advantage deck because they're always going to get rid of advanced intel. I could get rid of cunning deployment and force coordinated strike. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, it's not as flashy as infiltrate or like all this tech with removing things to get free recovers and tokens and whatnot. And I wouldn't even necessarily say that it's better, but free orders are just really valuable.
Yeah.
Unless you've got a really, really timing neutral list, which most are not these days. If you have more than one tank or more than one focus piece or a Jedi and a tank or whatever your list looks like, you need to get multiple orders. And sometimes on those 1 pip rounds, it's tough to find that. So
yeah, standing orders, you get 4 orders with it between Cody's direct. So
yeah, that's really good.
So just to add a little bit of context to the game, like the sort of like the history of the game a little bit. Like I don't know if it really counts as history because we still do this now. But in the olden times when orders were not as plentiful, when we only had 2 factions, we only had Republic or not Republic, but Empire and Rebel, right? Orders were very scant, like very scarce. We didn't even have improvised. So what we used to do competitively was we used to make sure the order token mix, that is the types of tokens in the order pool, were very low number. So we wanted as many core and commanders, and we didn't really want to diversify because we knew that the less diverse the order pool was, the more timing, sort of the more neutral it became. We knew we could get orders when we needed them. We didn't have to worry about issuing orders. We didn't have to. It was sort of took care of itself. It was pre-sorted in a way. But now with the game, with like a points cap increase and the need for specialization in units, that's more. It's occurring more and more where we're like willing to mix token types because we have improvised, we have coordinates, we have other things that kind of take care of it. And also to tie it to our last, the thing we did with the Wills, with Andrew and Will last week when we interviewed them, they were saying they kind of made this statement that like perfect order control was sort of like supposed to be elusive. I wanted to interject and say that's something we're banking on as competitors. So it's something we've always done. And since the inception of the game, we've always tried to short circuit the order pool randomness wherever and whenever we can. That's been something we've tried to do. But no, I think with an increase in the mix of vehicle types, because we're taking more supports, more heavies, more special forces on average, the need for actual orders from cards becomes greater. And so this kind of helps with that, this coordinated strike advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of a similar story for the CIS one, isn't it?
Yeah. Let's look at the CIS one real quick.
Not sure I've read it.
I can read it out loud. So
go ahead.
It's called Command Override. The special rules are CIS only. During setup, place 2 advantage tokens on this card. During the issue order step of the command phase, you may remove 1 of the advantage tokens on this card. If you do, choose an allied unit with the AI keyword. The chosen unit issues an order to itself.
That feels like an identical analog to the clone one. Just since we already have coordinate, don't need to give them coordinate.
Yeah, it's also like it's kind of like an uplink for AI units.
Yeah. It's like a free
Yeah.
uplink for AI units. Yep.
Two-time use. Obviously, the advantage the clone one has is that they're both basically a net of 2 free orders, not counting further chains of coordinate and so on. But the one advantage the Republic one has is that you can do both at once. It looks like based on the wording of the CIS one, you can only do one per round.
But that feels like an advantage for the CIS that they can do it in 2 separate rounds. Because it's going to chain from your AI guys. So this allows the CIS players that are going away from the traditional droid chains to try like Geonosians and stuff. It allows them to still command their entire chain without spending their command cards on it.
Right. Yeah. No, it's I would say all around the CIS one is kind of just better.
Yes.
It's just less restrictive. Again, the only thing is if there's a scenario where you really wanted 2 free orders that are coming outside of your regular order structure in the same round, the Republic one does that. You can only do 2 at once, and the CIS can't. But I'm trying to fish for things. In just about every other way, the CIS one.
CIS are getting like half their orders for free every round, anyways. So getting 1 versus 2 is whatever.
Yeah,
Gar's getting like none, so it's a big deal for them.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. The orders in some way are more valuable in Republic because you're more likely to be in a situation like in CIS. It's and in fairness, there are lots of different types of CIS. Like sometimes people like speak hyperbolically, and they're like, "Well, CS never even needs free orders; they always have perfect order control." If you play CIS, that's not actually true.
Not
you
anymore.
do not always have perfect order control, and in fact, many it's the only lists where you even have lots of order control are ones where you have 6B1s. If you have mostly Geonosians, if you have mostly B2s, there are lots of list archetypes, and frankly, even some of the B1 archetypes where you're not going to have perfect order control most of the time if you're playing something that only dishes out 1 order. So additional orders sometimes in actually very often in CIS, you will encounter situations where you only needed 1 more order, and then you can go from not perfect order control to perfect order control, and that can make a difference.
Yeah, they're like kind of the most sensitive to the lack of orders in a way.
Yeah,
because, not just because of AI, but just because of the. I mean,
AI doesn't trigger unless you're beyond 3 of your commander now.
Right. It's sort of the apparent fragility, I think. I'm thinking specifically of like Stap Riders or other things that, really want the orders.
Right.
Yeah. So, how many CIS lists do you see running 6B1s these days?
What that's the other thing too, right? You don't even
pretty close to 0, yeah. It's the B1 horde has kind of been put aside.
Yeah.
Though people still swear by the 112 B1 thing that people can do.
Yeah. It is a lot of bodies. That is for sure.
You put rad cannons on there just to make sure that poison goes off.
Mm-hmm.
All the extra bodies behind it.
You just lean on them with rad cannons.
I like big B1s with rad cannons. I know that they're totally a flamethrower magnet, and anybody who's in my opponent who has a flamethrower loves it. But they're still fun. I mean, pushing 4 saves with a poison on top of it feels real good.
I don't know whether my Magdet BSE love or hate them, because it's like if I'm in melee with them, I love them because it's like, oh, I get to just blow you up because I can use my Magdet in melee and turn on a frag grenade with 1 guy and just well, not frag grenade, but you know what I mean. They hurt real bad in melee now because you can use the Magnet in melee. But I hate them if I get shot at range because the poison is very effective against Black Sun.
Yep.
Black Sun hate
Anything?
poison.
I would love to see the rad cannon be meleeed to 2.
Nope.
Nope.
Hard pass. Get that away from my lightsabers.
That was a straight up like engineer from TF2. Nope.
Yeah, I would love that. I would swarm with B1s, and they would all have poison cannons.
I'll
and I'd
quit
just
right now.
melee you to death.
Oh yeah, I'll sell my armies now.
Yeah.
I don't. You can basically do that with BXs
Sell my armies.
Yeah.
because their Dioxys mine works in melee.
That's true. The Oxus
You give
does
them
work in melee.
and you can give them
Still
swords,
poison.
so they have charge.
I will say I played an online game. It was probably last month. I wish I could remember the name of the guy I played. Really, he was a really intelligent player.
Joan Bushman or
And
something.
but he was running 15-act CIS, and he had three big squad or 3 like normal squads of BXs with the Dioxys mine, and he had 3 strike teams with Dioxys mines with swords, and then I was just like, oh, that's okay, this is really interesting. And as we were playing the game, I was like, holy crap, like I really don't want to shoot into freaking red saves where there's only 2 minis. Like I don't want to waste an entire attack on that. Like it was so annoying to have to deal with that,
Impervious
because
red
like you
saves,
do
mind
have
you.
to deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Just out of curiosity, why would you not want to shoot that? Because like, I'll be honest, my instinct is I mean, how many points is that unit? Because it's what,
With sword,
20
54.
base.
Yeah.
See, like 54 points and only 2 wounds to do. I mean, I get that it's impervious red saves, but like that feels like a good target. And I'm thinking of it from like an Empire gun
Yeah.
line point of view. That's most of what I've been playing lately. But like if I'm
Empire would be fine with
from
it.
DLTs, like, oh, that's exactly what I want to just chip at with my range 4 DLTs and like the rounds 1 and 2 is just because then even if you only kill one model, you're like halfway killed a unit.
I could see them being a problem because they have jump, you know?
Yeah.
And so like jump specifically, I think is the difference, right? Because the jump helps them hide and then get into melee, and then like they're kind of punching over their weight a little bit with poison.
Yeah, and it may have just also been my setup. Like, there's not a lot of rebel lists that have rebel lists don't really have a whole bunch of core units that are like, oh yeah, this is a decent dice pool for this core unit, and I don't have like 4 core units with good dice pools, right? And so usually like my firepower is coming from a specific concentration of units. And I don't really want to waste a larger attack on these 2 guys that are annoying me on my back line that I know are going to come over this wall and cause me problems. You know, It's just like I was surprised at how annoying those units were in terms of gameplay and in terms of POI control. I was really impressed, and so.
Yeah, they count as a unit leader. They throw 5 dice that are pretty good with a poison attached.
Yeah.
Like I think it's under researched. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Like only one person's really doing it, and that person seems to have a game plan that works for them.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of not widespread enough for us to really make a judgment one way or the other.
I mean, the offense is definitely stellar for 54 points.
Oh yeah, that's
No doubt
really
about
good.
that. I mean,
Yep.
2 red, 2 white, 1 black, surging. You're talking over 3 hits average with no mods or a lot like games.
Against like white saves, you're probably going to get the poison on board on top.
Right.
Yeah.
Even against surging red saves, if you get 3 hits on average, you are putting a wound through because it's melee. So there's no cover.
Yeah, it's like a delayed pierce with the poison.
Yeah.
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 Well, I don't know that I would have thought to do that, but that's interesting. I mean, on the full squad for sure, but yeah,
I immediately fell in love with the idea. I was like, man, this is annoying me. I love it.
Hey.
If something's annoying, it has potential. I think is
Yeah.
the sign. That's the sign.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of annoying, is that a good segue to talk about triple saber tank?
Yes,
Ooh,
100%.
yes. I want to hear about this because I have no experience with this yet.
Yeah, I've seen it in action, but I've not had the chance to play against it or with it. So
Yeah,
curious.
so I still need some more reps with it. I'm running right now with 8-axe triple saber, and I opted for 8-axe because I wanted to take advantage of the other half of 212, which is the infiltration. And so I've got 2 large clone shotgun units that are
That makes
threatening the infiltrate, right?
logical. Yeah.
And it's great. I love it. It will create the infiltrating shotguns, just like we were talking earlier in this episode about the power of infiltrate. It is amazing for creating space. And even if these shotgun squads, they're not likely to get a range 2 shotgun pierce shot round 1, but they are almost guaranteed to get a range 3 shot, which is still 10 black dice. Like 10 black dice from the core units, and that's on top of the tanks shooting you, and it's going to be aim powered, because I've got 2 units in here that are just token batteries, and it's great. I like it a lot.
I'm guessing you got Cody.
I've got Cody. I've got those 2 squads. I have 1 clone infantry and 1 marksman, for point costs, and prepared position starting off with a dodge is kind of nice, but I want that extra surge to share on the other clone infantry. And then the 3 tanks all have beam turret, link targeting array, and clone shock trooper pilot.
Nice. Okay, so
these-
you don't have any ARFs for the scout?
No. No. And I can, so with a range 4 gun on that huge base, what exactly is my range? It is a far range from coming onto the board already and
It's
shooting.
almost the entire board.
Yeah,
It's
so
like
you're having to hide from
inch
LOS.
Yeah.
You're having to hide LOS to prevent the tanks from shooting round 1.
Yeah, it's literally 35 inches.
Okay, there you go. Cool.
So,
and that's throwing, the 4 red, 2 black, 2 white, and then 2 red 2 more times. And like, you may be able to hide from 1 beam, you may be able to hide from 2, but you're not going to hide from 3. It's great. It's fun.
yeah.
They shoot, they get their own surge that they can then share with each other, and they become this surging red save.
Now remind me, it's been a while since I played into a beam. So when you say you beam 1 target, do you have to be able to see the other 2 targets?
Yes.
Okay.
But they
you
don't
have to be able to see
in
them.
range.
And they have to be in range. I think you could go inside the minimum range.
You could also go beyond 4.
That's what I was getting. You can't go beyond 4.
No, you can't go beyond 4.
Oh, I thought you could.
Did
Okay.
that
No.
change?
That's good to know.
I'm pretty sure I double checked that recently.
I remember that they ruled that a while ago, but I don't know what the new ruling is. I think we had the situation where we had air support. And people were like, "Could I beam beyond 4 with
air supports are
Right,
infinite range.
Right. Maybe that's
they
what
are.
I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's just because air support is infinite.
Oh, air support was the other direction. Could you beam in? Because
Yeah.
it was like underneath the minimum range.
Beam should
Additional attacks must be an LOS of the attacking unit, but may be beyond the maximum range.
Wow. Okay, never mind.
So, yeah. But it does not say anything about the minimum range.
So you can beam out.
Oh.
But they don't. These beams don't have a minimum range, so they're fine on that range, on that aspect.
Yeah, but at that point, you'd have to be shooting diagonally in order to get beyond range 4 anyway, because the speed 2 move on with your tank, and then range 4 shot is almost all the way across the board.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware they patched the shock pilot the way they patched it to make it into a Saber tank pilot. They used to be lat only, if I'm recalling. And Its new text is really good actually when you have your sabers pumped up.
I mean, it doesn't triple proc, right?
No,
but it's
it's
still
it's per attack.
it's still a
action.
surge token, which is like a wound. It's a
Mhm.
free health.
Can you still air support off of a Saber?
No, only if it has field commander.
Oh,
So you need to give it a pilot that gives it field commander.
okay. And is air support's not an attack action, is it?
It is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just after the activation, so you can attack,
Okay.
beam,
Yeah.
and then you can also beam with the air support. At the
Okay.
Yeah,
after
if-
the
So
activation.
then shock pilot would generate 2 surges.
But you don't have field commander, and
Yeah.
you can't get a different pilot to give you field commander because you have clone shock.
Oh,
Trooper.
duh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. They account
I
for that.
assume you'd
Yeah.
want Cody to proc that anyway, since he has surge crit.
Yeah, so you want the surge
Yeah.
crit anyway.
You want to
I mean,
come
they're
off
they're
yeah.
still surge hit, so like surge hit versus crit, whatever. But
Yes.
I mean, 9 suppression per round from those 3 units.
real
right.
good.
Just
Okay.
spreading it out. The fairly new ruling, I think, about, or clarification at least, about the order of the attacks. That you declare all your beam attacks that are going to happen, and then you do them in any order. So, very easy to turn off backup.
Interesting. So
Oh, did you suppress
trying to
him?
think of things.
You don't have to
that-
suppress them. Just get, like, because it'll work on B1s. You could turn off backup from B1s,
right.
but not
Cool.
from monster freaking Cassian, because he's core with infinite courage.
So what kind of scenarios do you not want to see then, John, with that list? You probably don't like breakthrough, huh?
I mean, I don't think I mind breakthrough because I would probably tune. I would split the tanks probably. I've got 6 or 5 big things that are,
Yeah.
and the big squads can hide behind the tanks if they want to get closer too.
That's true.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with breakthrough.
You probably just stick like
Even-
Cody and 1 tank on your weak side, and then 2 tanks, and and 1 or 2 of the big squads on your strong side, right? I would think.
Well, those tanks are so fast that you could even like bunch them up on one side and just steamroll over it all the way to reach your opponent by like round 2.
Because I mean, they're fast even when they're strafing.
Yes.
When they're strafe, they're as fast as an AAT is moving forward.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're real good. And the reposition does, or the notched base pivot does trigger off of a strafe as well.
Right.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
Mm,
It took me a while to figure it out that you can, but yeah.
nice.
I like that a
nice.
lot. Yeah.
Yeah. You could be facing one way and then you could pivot and strafe to keep shooting at this guy, but you moved that way.
Now is the beam range 2 to 4 or is it 1 to 4?
1 to 4.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's no avoiding it.
Yeah, the beam is is 1 to 4. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you're gonna
And
get
the regular gun's also 1 to 4, right?
Yes.
How often do you lose tanks? How many on average do you feel like you lose a game? I know, and it's tough because it
I haven't
depends.
played enough to accumulate an average. I would be surprised if you lose more than 1, though, honestly, because they're outmaneuvering and borrowing dodge tokens from your
Ugh.
core, right?
Ugh.
And they
Right.
already have red saves, and they already have armor 5,
and maybe your
and-
shock pilot's generating
and
surges.
they're getting surges.
Yeah.
Can you take R2D2 in that battle force?
No.
No, thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
It would be like the one time R2D2's good is
Yeah.
the triple saber tank list. That'd be his
Yeah.
time to shine.
It's true.
Man.
But
I think
the
understood how
Sabers-
crazy that would be.
The Sabers are big enough to cover 2 objectives on several primaries, to include recover the research, not outflank. They can cover the middle 2. Anytime they're 2 away, so also bunker assault, they can
Yeah.
cover 2 of them. And they don't care about being in the thick of it because of how tanky they are. Pun intended.
Even with weak point, it's like, do we really
It's
care
weak
about
point
this?
1. Like, here you go. You get your 1 chance to wound me. Now let me spend a dodge.
Yeah. And it's weak point just rear, right?
No, it's sides,
Oh, okay.
and rear.
All
Yeah.
right.
Oh, sides and rear. It's weak
Yeah.
everywhere except the front.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Got
pretty easy to get.
armor
But with
right on
the
the front.
strafe, you could also like keep your front pointed at them pretty well.
Yeah, you're not going to give up your flank easily with
Right.
these.
It's interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought about the synergy that multiple have together with the shock pilots.
Yeah.
We're giving each
Yeah.
other surges. That's really nasty.
Yeah, that's what I think pushes it over the edge for me.
Is nice.
Yeah, because
That's-
nothing is more aggravating than red save armor with surge tokens. That was that. I mean, the most traumatized you could ever feel in Legion was when you're playing OG Dark Troopers, when Dark
Yeah.
Troopers first dropped,
With
and
aggressive
you
tactics.
like put yes with aggressive
Yeah.
tactics, and you put like all your best impact and ion and everything into one shot, and they roll 3 blocks in a surge,
Mhm.
and you're just like, the Dark Troopers are unbeatable. That
Yeah.
was the most traumatized I've ever been.
Weren't people like packing like Impact 16 and still losing? Like there were some people who were doing that and they were still losing because the saves were too good
That's a dark time.
or too reliable. I mean, not too good. But, you know.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah, but
Well, that's
Bosk,
cool.
Bosk, my
I'm excited
boy.
to hear how that goes in the future, man. That's
Yeah.
cool.
So I
Yeah,
played
me
them
too.
on Outflank as well, and I put 2 of them as my Vanguard, and they did that exact thing that I was talking about. They come on straight from that side, and then they just strafe and keep pointing at the enemy deployment, but coming to the middle of the table now.
dang.
And they're so fast that they're there by turn 2 anyways.
Do you put shell AP shells on them?
I don't have points for it on this.
Mm.
And that is a thing. Like their impact is a little weak. It's only impact 2. So against other armor, they won't shred it quickly, but they won't be shredded quickly either. So
Right.
They're tough. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be curious. I wonder how it would stack up against something like Tempest, for example.
yeah,
Because I mean, those ATSTs that you kept rolling in with impact 4, and then
Yeah.
they've also got bikes that each have impact 2,
Mhm.
that can fly into your side point, right?
Yeah, that'd be
I
tough.
wonder
That'd
if
be
that
tough
would
though.
be.
yeah. I
wonder if
mean,
that would
I
be
might
tough.
like pick up a speeder bike a turn though, or like
I mean, yeah, you would. I mean, you shred the speeder bikes for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
But
speeder
like,
bikes running in a wolf pack getting beamed is not ideal.
yeah.
That's
But
true.
then with the big squads, like the big
Mhm.
squads can probably push 3 or 4 wounds onto an ATST at a time.
Do you have impact nades on your big squads?
No, I'm at 1,000 points.
Dang.
Mm.
I would have to cut like clone shock trooper pilot or link targeting array to get anything, and
No,
that's
you
not
can't.
happening.
You can't do that. It's
Yeah.
too valuable and too easy to
Yeah.
include.
Yeah.
Any upgrades on Cody?
No, none, not even improv.
Hmm.
But with coordinated strike, you get like a free super order control turn, and
Right. Cody has
you've
direct
already got
and-
combined arms as a 4 order turn, and Cody's got the direct vehicle already.
That's
So
cool.
you have like good order control for like 3 turns, which is all you really need. And you always have a
I love
tank
it.
ordered.
I love it. It's super unique, super fun.
Yeah.
I would love to see. I love seeing unique ideas and lists do well. So I'm stoked. I hope you can get it feeling like.
I'm excited to shred some aqua droids in.
Oh yeah,
I think a week and a half. I have a game scheduled against aquas.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet.
He's got like 1 ion spider, I think, and 1 crab droid or something. But then it's aquas and B1s, so the beams are gonna go to town.
And it's got to be great against low armor values, like armor 2. You're just going to soar right over that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about Super Cassian as our final hit on the show here.
Yeah.
Our final segment. So I know, Brian, you've had a lot of so why don't we just talk about what Cassian is, right? He's an upgrade that you put in the heavy slot, and he has some cool features.
Yeah, so Cassian's fun because he's similar to like your Callus upgrade or your Kraken upgrade where you can use him as a heavy, but you also get an additional heavy slot when you put him in your unit. And so that allows you to take Cassian and it's in any core unit. Personally, I think he's most fitted for fleets, obviously, which is how I run him. But he's also very, very well fitted for rebel troopers. I do think that the style of play is different for fleets and rebel troopers. I don't feel like he slots very well into vets, even though he does have long shot. I don't think you get personally. I don't think you're getting enough out of him. I think you're putting too much in to try to, and you're only getting 2 blacks. And you also have long shot, which means you got to spend an aim to get him to range 4 to combine it with your vet heavy. I just don't think he fits with vets very well. And they also already have low profile, vets do, and so the Cassian with his 2 black side doesn't add a lot to the vet unit. Now this card does flip. So there's 2 sides to it. There's the first side that you start off with, which is where Cassian's attack dice. There's 2 black, and it's range 1 to 3. He has long shot, he has low profile, and he has secret mission. And if you want to get a lot out of the secret mission, I think you run him with the Rebel Trooper Squad, because they can get their dodges. They're going to live a little bit longer. And you also have to have, if you want to keep him on that side, you have to have very good planning on keeping him from getting suppressed. Because you want to be able to score that secret mission. I've seen it scored a couple of times, but both times I've seen it scored was with a Rebel Trooper unit. And it was a Rebel Trooper super squad. I think they also had SX-21. One of our locals, Matt Evans, he runs it, and I think he scored secret mission several times with it. When you get attacked and you lose a mini, you can choose to flip Cassian's card, and when you do that, it changes his kind of outlook. He now attacks with 2 reds, and it's melee to 2, just like a shotgun for a fleet squad is. And so, and then he loses low profile. You gain null courage, so you can't be suppressed anymore, which is one of the strongest aspects to this side, in my opinion. And then you also get uncanny luck 1. Woohoo!
Yeah, like the cherry on top, you know.
Yeah,
you have to reroll 1 save. Which...
It doesn't show up very often, but when it does, it feels wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it's really strong in the Rebel Trooper config, because it's like, well, I got low profile, I got dodges, and then whatever save is left, I get to reroll 1 of them. So
yeah,
it's really lucky that Cassian gives defensive tech on top of all that other stuff he do. He just wouldn't be any good otherwise. Oh, thank goodness we got that defensive tech on there.
Yeah.
Plus, he has the doesn't he have the put dice back kind of thing we didn't talk about.
Yeah, and so on his flipped side, with the red attack dice, he also makes one man feel like 100 by each time one of the minis dies. Then let's see, how do I explain it? For each mini dead, you get 1 white attack die. So if it's just Cassian left, then you still count up all the other guys. So say he was in a super squad, so there's 10 dudes that are dead because you had nine regular guys and a heavy that are all dead now. So Cassian still gets to attack with 2 reds and 10 whites. So, and if you're fleets, then you're surging to hit. And so I love him in a fleet squad. He is fantastic with the shotgun. Rolling 4 reds on top of whatever amount of whites are there. It's going to be it's either, if it's perfect, then you're rolling 4 reds and 17 whites because you only lost 1 model. But that perfect scenario doesn't happen very often. Yeah. So it's somewhere between 9 and 17 whites.
It's crazy. So okay. So
Just letting that sink in for a second. You know?
let's chat first. Wait, is that even? Yeah. Four reds and 17 whites. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Four,
That's if you've lost one
Pierce.
model.
With
With
Pierce
Pierce.
one. So I think first off, should we talk a little bit about how to play this monstrosity before we talk about how to beat this monstrosity? The
Yeah.
more urgent of the two questions.
Right. Well, let's talk.
Um,
Let's dive into like what the execution looks like.
Yeah. So this is a unit that you use to delete other units, and so there's potential with certain combinations that you can like say you take him with your officer that gives reinforcements at the end of round one. Now Cassian can get out there a little bit further, or you can play him with like Lando Calrissian, who can guidance this guy, right? And so if you're able to get Cassian in to your enemy lines, and then all of a sudden you're guidancing him a standby before he activates, like things like that is like
Or one step ahead.
or one step ahead. Yeah. All those kinds of things. Very, very, very good things for Cassian. One step ahead and guidance and the what is the name of that officer? I even have him in my list that I'm currently using. But it's the officer that does the reinforcements that has exemplar.
Proven tactician.
Yeah,
proven tactician.
That sounds right. Proven tactician. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have proven tactician, you have Lando with his guidance, and you're one step ahead, then you can get a lot of distance with that Cassian unit, and you can score secret mission relatively easily. Personally, the secret mission side doesn't interest me. The killing side interests me a lot. And I'm a fleet guy. Anyone that knows me knows that I love my fleets. And so I am interested in Cassian doing maximum damage as much as I can. And so I run him with Op Luke, who can serve your master well. And Cassian gets to smash things twice in a round, which is wonderful. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say my intuition is that chasing secret mission is kind of a trap with this unit. If you get it, awesome. Secret mission is great. But if you're like forming your game plan around, I'm going to get him in the zone and then I'm going to start and end my next activation in the zone. Like I don't think you should really plan around that. You've got 21 dice with Pierce and Surges. Just go to town.
Yeah, just nuke stuff.
Like if you kill a unit and that unit doesn't contest a POI, that's a point. Like that can be a point, right? And then you can do that, and it's a point that continues because every round it's dead is every round that it's not contesting a POI, right? So generally speaking, killing units, I think with a unit like this, should be the priority over trying to force secret mission into your game plan.
Yeah. So I really like I like moving him up the board. I like having him in position on a flank with Luke where he can cause a lot of problems. Personally, I like that a lot. And so that's how I like playing him. I've also seen him be very successful in a Rebel Trooper squad with a SX shotgun. With frag grenades, and now you're running him at kind of range 1 to 2 kind of threat. The frag grenades feel real good in that setup. So yeah.
I'll say, because I've thought a lot about both these scenarios. Obviously the advantage to the Rebels is that they're even more durable because of the dodge and nimble, which just makes Cassian an absolute bear. And then you get those nice range 3 shots, which is pretty cool. That's a really nice thing to have, is the option to throw. I mean, all together with the Rebels and the squad and the heavy and Cassian 12 black dice at range 3. It's really good. But the reason I lean more towards the fleets is that unless you're getting to frag grenade range, which certainly can happen but isn't guaranteed, adding a white back for every model feels a lot better if you're searching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feels a ton better.
Almost like it's 50% better.
Yeah,
Mhm.
almost like that.
About
Yeah. And so what are your guys' thoughts on how to play against it?
Fire.
Yes.
yeah. Just focus fire, basically, if you can. Yeah.
I also meant literally like flamers.
Oh, that's true.
I think when this card dropped without even playing a game with or against it, I had an internal debate of whether every list I make needs to have a flamethrower in it now. That's probably hyperbolic. That's probably not literally true, but it's something I think about now. Like every list I think about, like, is it reasonable to fit a flamer in this list? And it's not just for this unit. Flamers are good in a lot of cases, right?
Mhm.
But if you have a flamer, and particularly a good one, the dewback one is a little bit sad, especially now that it's extra expensive. But the ATRT and the spider ones in particular are the ones that where you average more than one hit per model. That's can be a really important opening shot.
You know what I just realized,
Something like
Nathan, as you were speaking, I was like, wow, flame troopers have been power crept out of the game. Haven't they? Like the flame trooper, because he doesn't produce more than one hit,
Who?
The flame trooper from the snows.
Oh, the snow trooper.
They've been power crept out of the game in a lot of ways because it's like because you have Boba Flamer, right? Or you have Dewback Flamer. And so in a lot of ways it's like you're not
But they're steady with Imperial March.
That's true.
So
And
I don't think they're out.
There's other dice besides the flamethrower is the other thing.
That's also
true.
Like, for example, I'm not particularly a fan of this combination, but if you felt so inclined and you were running a flamethrower snow trooper, almost certainly I'd make it a whole squad. Right. So now you're talking 9 additional white dice on top of whatever you're throwing.
But like still, it is never your first choice, right?
I agree with David because it was the grenade change that nuked the flamethrower snows. I was like I was huge on flame snows. If I was running Empire, I had flame snows in every single list because rolling 5 frag grenades on top of the flamethrower felt great. But the minute they changed the grenades to only being 1 die, then to me that kind of killed flame snows. Because of that, it just didn't become worth it to me anymore. And so there's other flamethrowers that I would take in Empire. Particularly
way before Imperial.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. Actually, I think the frag grenade changed it. One of my in Legacy, it was never like an A tier list, but it was really fun. It was 7 activations. It was Commander Vader with 3 Black Sun, with the Vigos and heavies, and then 3 Flamer Snows with frags and medics.
Yeah,
you just had this
really good
ball of death that would run out. It was really fun.
I guess my point, I guess this is sort of an aside to the point where it's like if you're trying to deal with Cassian, you gotta. I mean, volume and blast are definitely like 2 ways to handle it. Or and especially if they're running the fleet variant, it's like the mitigation's low. They have in blast removes low profile, so.
Yeah, and the key to fighting it, I think, is activation control on your units that have flamethrowers, but also so like if you're playing Empire, you're what's the new card that or the upgrade that lowers your pip on your command card?
Command and control
uplink.
Command and control uplink. Command and control uplink tied with like a Din or a Boba is really, really great. Din more so than Boba because Din's just hot.
Sorry, can we actually talk about Boba real quick? Just because you got me thinking about him. Because a discussion we were having pre-cast as we were talking about this. One of the things that's tough about Cassian is that when you normally have a really, really big offensive threat like this, and you're like, he averages almost, if he's at the absolute ideal scenario of 17 surging white and 4 surging red, he he very nearly approaches an average of 10 Pierce 1 without any aims. That is a full boating bad batch right there. A full boating, right? No sharpshooter, granted, which is a big deal on a big pool like that. But so normally ways you have to do. So take bad batch for example. One real cool thing you can do with them is you can tie them up in melee. The reason that's nice is because bad batch is not, if they're at full health, their melee is good, but it's not. It is a significant step down from their range, because with their range they're moving twice, so they're getting double aims with their steady shot, and they have more dice and they have pierce. So it's just like the ranged attack is just significantly better, and especially if Wrecker's dead. John always likes to keep Wrecker alive specifically to avoid this scenario.
Don't put always in my mouth. It depends.
Or sorry, I've often seen John smartly avoid killing Wrecker early to avoid this scenario. So it was intended as a compliment. But if Wrecker dies, then you're in a situation. Then you can just run it straight into Bad Batch, and then Bad Batch is basically useless, for other than sitting on a point, basically. Yep. But once Wrecker's dead, like in melee, they got 4 dice. Like it's gonna take him. It's gonna take him 2 rounds.
They are red dice, and they do have a knife throw as well.
That's true. The knife helps, but like, unless you're really lucky, it's gonna take you 2 rounds to kill a naked stormtrooper with a 160 point unit, right? So it's like, but my point being, usually they do nasty stuff before you have a chance to get into melee with them. But point being, that's usually a way that you can slow them down besides just murdering them, right? Which is harder with Bad Batch. Another thing that you can do with the unit, and this could be a Bad Batch, this could be like an Op Vader, Anakin, whoever, is you can suppress them. You can get them so they only got 1 action, right? And then you reduce their threat range, and then oftentimes they can't reach you. The reason I bring these both up is because I think both of these are significantly less viable against Cassian. The suppression straight up does not work. He's just immune to it once his card flips. We were having a discussion about this, and John might jump in with the counterpoint. I still don't love the idea of burying him in melee, because he's just as strong in melee as he's at ranged. The advantage is that you can force him to attack whatever he's in melee with instead of your focus piece. So it's still like a tool you have, but it's not ideal, because you're not actually reducing the damage output he's doing. He's still probably going to kill whatever unit you send it in one shot, unless it's a real beefy unit. Anyway, so this was a long tangent. I said something about Boba. Coming back to Boba, as I realized as we were talking, Whipcord is one of the only things that actually slows Cassian down that he's not like immune to, right? So like that actually, saying obviously Din is great because he can just initially work to chunk off a huge amount of attrition, which is pretty critical to taking Cassian out. You got to kill him quickly, but Whipcord, that can actually be a really effective way, because it's like the only way to stop him. That's not just leaving a smoking crater where he used to stand.
Right, to like physically strand him somewhere.
And then you can just go to town. And then you can just shoot him in the army while he's, just stand right outside range 2, and then make, right. and you couldn't even guidance him while he's whipcorded, right? Because of the
not for a move, but
not for a move, right? So if you just sit outside of range 2 of him and just shooting gallery,
you get that guidance standby. This came to head to my mind with infinite courage. It's just disgusting.
Oh.
Yeah, and
gross.
Yeah, that's really nuts.
That's really good.
I hadn't even thought about that, John.
Yeah, there you go. Stand by.
You're welcome, Indiana.
Yeah. Now you've unleashed this curse on Indiana.
Yeah.
Infinite curse standby. I don't think you can get him Overwatch though, thankfully. Well, and he's kind of range 2 anyways.
He's range 2, yeah.
Yeah, you don't really want Overwatch.
But
I was thinking like on the Rebels, but if he's on the Rebels, you can't get him. You can't get him Overwatch.
You can't put a captain with him, can you?
So the interesting thing is that
it wouldn't be a super fun.
And the interesting part is I played this list into several flamethrowers, right? Most of the time, the most effective one against me has been Din, because Din can get to you from so far away. So I do have to use ranges. I know that I have to spend by the end of round 1. I want to make sure that I'm at least range 3 away from Din, and that's hard to do on certain POIs. It is doable. 3.5, but yeah, you want to stay away from that. But I also have learned that with Force Barrier and Emergency Stims on Cassian, then I just trade with Din, and that's a trade up for me every time.
It's less points, and losing Cassian doesn't cost you any command cards. Like losing Din might cost you some command cards.
So you need to soften him up first. You can't do that and expect to kill him. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to go in my flamethrower. I've got my pierce. I've got my gun on top of it. You're going to do a lot of damage, but you're not going to kill it, and then you die. And is it worth it? Is the question. And
right.
And it might be, but you've got to soften him up first.
Yeah, like let's say you go in there fresh, right, with a fresh squad, and you kill 5-6 minis.
No, you're gonna kill 8.
Like 8 minis, okay, but you're still gonna get smacked. Like all those 8 minis only lost like 50% of their potency because of Cassian's rule.
Yeah.
So you got those last 2,
right?
That are hanging on
that are hitting with 4 red, pierce 1, and then the the remainder plus the Cassian sort of pseudo tenacity.
Yep.
So you're in danger basically if you go in fresh. You're in real danger.
I would think last firsting him with a Jedi could work as well.
Mm-hmm.
So like I thought of like Dooku, for example.
Dooku's one pick really
he
good.
probably hates
So he can swing with his lightsaber, and then he can guarantee that extra choke just to make absolutely sure that he's dead, right? So you go at the end of one round, oftentimes it's your one pip, right? That you played. You zoom in at the end of the round, you swing at Cassian, you zap something else, you choke Cassian, and then immediately at the top of the next round, you open again, slash, choke, make absolutely sure he's dead, and then do it or whatever else.
Yeah, you just got to be careful because if you do that with a one pip, then you're hoping to win the roll off the next round. And if you don't, he dies. Like he just dies.
Well,
I was gonna say, you kind of have to open. You kind of have to open with one.
But he can easily take 2 or 3 wounds.
Yeah, well, he's going to take a good amount of wounds, and then then you're going to activate him, and he's in a world of trouble. Like it takes some nuance when you got that many dice coming back at you. You got to be real careful.
Good Son of Skywalker or Serve Your Master Well would not only, it helps Cassian on his side, but it could also kill Cassian from the enemy.
Yes, depending on what you're serving, right? Because you can't serve your enemy units anymore.
No, but you can't serve to that Cassian to shoot itself, anyways. But you get like a sleeper or someone, or any of your if you're taking right. Yeah.
Jeez.
If you're taking serve, then you probably have something. I always have something friendly that I want to serve. And that's your double tap, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I got mad over something that doesn't matter just now because I wanted to think, well, man, imagine if we did, it doesn't even matter, but imagine if we did have old Serve Your Master Well, being able to use your opponent's Cassian against him. And then I realized you can't because he's infinite courage. So it doesn't even matter.
You can't suppress him.
Yeah. Wouldn't have been able to serve him anyway.
But if the rebel player has serve, oh man.
If you haven't damaged him, then he can't have infinite courage yet.
That's true.
Not yet.
You get to them while they're fresh.
So
really
I have
nasty. That means
I have played into people who have decided not to attack him at all.
Yeah, what if you just suppression bomb him?
That is not advisable.
That seems hard to do consistently because before he flips, he increases their courage, right?
Yeah,
he increases their courage by 1, so that they're courage 2 unit.
Yeah, indomitable.
And I like running them with the with that officer who has a courage 3 bubble, which is really nice. And then if you're running low axe, then you use your advantage to take away all the suppression anyway. If he doesn't take any wounds.
Assuming you don't indomitable roll it all off. Yeah.
Yes, because he is indomitable. Yeah.
I'm actually really. I think the whipcord actually is.
I think whipcord's great.
Fascinating.
Yeah, whipcord's a very good answer.
Sabine's also fantastic. And to be honest, Sabine's complemented really well. Yeah, Sabine's complemented really well with the new Rebel advantage also, because she loves her cover actions.
Oh yeah,
shield.
Yeah.
She's got her whipcord. She like that. She really gets a lot of value out of that. Sabine Ahsoka combo with that upgrade is fantastic.
Yeah, dang, that's very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's another interesting idea I had when we were talking about ways to possibly deal with Cassian. An idea that I had that I think also is good against one of the other big lists right now, which I don't think we're going to talk about too much, but we could, I suppose, is Mad Greg.
Mm-hmm.
So
Evans that he constantly says the cheating list.
Yes, the cheating list.
Yeah. For basically wheel Greg triple stacked Aqua.
Which in case anyone doesn't know, Greg is I don't know how or why, but it's a nickname for Grievous. And then I don't know
where that came from.
I know where it came from.
Oh, do you?
So there's a mod on the Legion Discord named Eternal RMG, and he came up with it.
Okay, that's
kind of caught on.
Okay, that sounds right.
It was I believe he is the originator of the Greg meme.
Okay,
it sounds like something he'd come up with.
Yeah, that sounds right. Anyway, so instead of Mad Max, you got Mad Greg. So Wheelbite Grievous with there's different flavors. I assume when the wheel bikes drop, they'll be pretty nasty, and that'll be a nasty list. But then you can combine with Staps or Aquas or Decas or whatever your destruction of the week is that you feel like doing. But they basically right. These hyper aggressive lists that move in with these close range threats and just smack you in the face. Mm-hmm. I think command cards that drop standbys at the top of the round are going to be something really to consider if you're in a faction or battle force that has access to them.
Yep.
For example, a lot of my Imperial lists, I've been favoring the double combo of Gideon and Krennic lately. Because now you have 2 top of round standby cards, which is pretty cool. So, like, let's say you're facing Cassian, or let's say you're facing Wheelbite Grievous, and it's the top of round 2, and it's pretty scripted. You know that your opponent's about to charge in with their biggest, baddest thing and shoot you. Mm-hmm. You play Gideon, and you drop, 3 6-man shores. Now all get standbys. It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
You walk into 1 standby, usually you're okay eating it. 2 is iffy. 3? And so now your opponent can waste time shooting the standbys off, but then that gives you time to just sit there and shoot whatever it was your opponent was going to throw at you.
If they even can shoot those standbys off.
Right. If you have Overwatch, which if this is a defense that you're building into your list, I would highly recommend Overwatch.
Or Dark Troopers who can't get the shot off either.
Right, they don't care.
Dark Troopers can't be removed at all because of the infinite courage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're doing that, it's a lot of these aggressive lists that are popular right now, they don't have any range for. So
something I've been meaning to do, even though that you brought it up, Nathan, is creating a Krennic Overwatch Death Troopers build around. It seems to make a lot of sense to me. Death Troopers, because you get the entourage too.
Well, so you get the entourage, and Krennic's card specifically says you pick any 2 units that have an order. So it doesn't have to be the ones you order with the card,
right?
Which is cool,
right?
And it says they take a standby action, which is great because it triggers ready for the Death Troopers.
Yep.
So the worst case scenario is that they get a free aim token, which, as we know, on Death Troopers is printing money.
Yeah, it's basically 2 aims because of precise 2. It's worth 2 aims, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, so that's a great card. And then Gideon's, you don't unfortunately have to order. Gideon's is more restrictive. It has to be core or heavy, and it has to be the units you order with the card. But it's 3. And actually, the fact that it can go on heavies is pretty cool. Also gives you flex to, like, if you've got an ATST in a list or a Gav in your list or whatever. This is really cool tech to have. So anyway, that was another defense I thought that's not, again, the obvious defense is murder the thing that you're scared of. We'd all love to do that. We'd all love to murder our opponent's focus pieces.
Right.
If only it were so simple. That's another, it's kind of a more niche idea. And it's not every list is gonna have a big standby mechanic that you can bake into it, but it's something to think about if it's the kind of thing you can put in your list.
Right. It's kind of a just another tool, you can add to your toolbox.
Yep.
No, absolutely. Well, guys, I think this has been a fantastic discussion, and I think we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you all for listening to us. This is concluding our first year as Winter Moon, actually. So, Winter Moon Substack was created January 1st. The first article dropped January 3rd, and I don't remember when our first podcast episode was, but I think it was pretty quickly afterward. Yeah. But this is going to conclude our first sort of year as Winter Moon. So, just a huge thank you to our audience, and thank you, of course, to our hosts, who are Nathan, Brian, and John, who have come along and done some really fantastic stuff. And of course, I can't forget Joe, who was with us earlier this year. But thank you so much for everyone that's supported this project. It's been a blast, and we'll see what 2026 brings for Legion and for Winter Moon. So with that, this has been the Winter Moon Podcast. I'm David.
I'm Brian.
John Bushfax Bushman.
I'm Nathan.
Happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you in the new year.
See ya.